Okay, and welcome to The Vibe. I'm your host, Andrew Ross, and I'm here with Mr. Raymond Hale, as promised, World War II veteran. But more than that, a witness to December 7th, Pearl Harbor, 1941. And Mr. Hale, if you would you give us a little bit of background? What rank and what year did you leave the Navy?
Well, I retired as Chief Warrant Officer W3 in '61.
All righty. And could you give us a rundown? What was it like when you woke up on December 7th, 1941, sir?
Well, we were tied up to a pier 14, port side 2, cold iron, and I happened to have the duty section on Saturday, so I was waiting on a quarterdeck for 8 o'clock so I could go to Honolulu and Waikiki Beach. About 7:45, I was on a quarterdeck, and I saw these planes go past our stern. And we thought, the thought was that the Army Air Force was conducting a little drill but on Sunday morning, it didn't seem quite kosher.
Sure.
And about the time I saw the red ball on the wings, the word came over the announcing system, "Man your battle stations. This is not a drill."
Wow.
My battle station was to repair aft, which was on the second deck. We had just returned from Bremerton Navy Yard for a yard overhaul.
And the name of this ship was, sir?
But they hadn't finished the ammunition hoist for the 1.1 millimeter anti-aircraft gun that had been installed on the stern.
So you folks had no anti-aircraft?
What's that?
You didn't have anti-aircraft on the ship that day?
No.
Wow. Wow.
And see where we were.
The planes were flying in?
Oh, yeah. And my battle station was a repair party. But they hadn't finished installing the ammunition hoist for the 1.1. So they had the repair party form a line and pass the ammunition up to the gun.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I happened to be at the top of the ladder handing the ammo to the guns. And, of course, you were real busy, so you couldn't look around and see what was going on.
Sure.
And finally, the 1.1 jammed, and then I could look around and see what was happening.
I see.
And you looked over the battleship row, and it was amazing. Here the front line of defense for the Navy was on fire, damaged, sinking right at the pier, at their piers. And I sort of in shock.
Sure. That makes sense.
And I saw the Arizona blow up. And then when the Oklahoma rolled over, I was watching it.
You were. Wow.
And
so you knew there was just tons of men trapped below decks at that point.
Yeah, we knew they were, because some of the ships had their double bottoms open for inspection on a Monday morning. So there was no way of counter flooding. So that's why the Oklahoma rolled over.
Okay.
Then I saw the Naval Air Station at Fort Island in the flames, and I looked over towards the shipyard, and I saw a big ball of flames going come up. Later found out it was a destroyer in the floating dry dock that blew up.
Oh, wow.
They hit the magazines, and really, there wasn't any, I didn't feel any fear at that time.
Okay.
It was, I guess, it was a sort of shock. Here's your first line of battle.
Yes, sir.
Sitting in the mud. Then I got to thinking, well, when's our turn coming?
Sure. Absolutely.
And that's when a little that in the back there, it says, yeah, maybe I better do something about this, but what could you do?
Right. So were people starting to form damage parties and go to other ships, or were you guys just staying on your ship?
The ensign in charge of the 1.1 on there, since I was on the top, he was the one he grabbed. He says, have you ever coxswained a motor launch? And I said, no. He said, well, this is a good time to learn. So
Wow.
I was going over the side, and there's on the propeller guard when the regular coxswain come down and took over, which I'm glad he did.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Right across the slip from us at Pier 13 was the oil tanker Ramapo, full of aviation gasoline.
Oh, wow. Now that's the one that blew up, correct?
No,
it's not.
No.
Okay.
She was had her engines hot. She had 4 torpedo boats on the deck as supercargo. She was headed due to get underway at 8 o'clock for the Philippines.
Okay.
But she never got underway. After the first wave left, well, she got underway and went over on the other side of Fort Island to Westlock, and I got to thinking now, if they'd dropped a bomb on her, that would have got us, the San Francisco that was next on the other side of the pier from us, and 2 other cruisers.
Okay.
Because all that there avgas would have got us all on fire.
So they really missed an opportunity right there.
I
Luckily.
might add that we were cold iron, and Navy talk for getting all of our services from the dock, electricity, water, sewer, telephone. And when
I see.
When this here first started, I don't know whether it was because of they dropped a bomb or whether the Navy Yard cut us off, but the boiler room gang had to light off the boilers by flashlight. And then after they got the boilers up, they went to get the generators working.
Sure. So they were doing this all below decks with flashlight.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
In the dark.
Wow. Because power had been disrupted topside to the docks.
Right. As soon as they cut the power from on the pier, we were dead.
Sure. And that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Sure. That makes sense.
And then the second wave come over. And, of course, that since the 1.1 wasn't working, I was down below decks. The repair party was down below on the second deck. And we didn't know what was going on, but they dropped a bomb of just about where the Ramapo had been.
Oh, wow.
And all we got out of that was shrapnel wounds in the side of the ship.
Luckily. Wow.
And the old Regal was up in the head of the pier. She got a lot of shrapnel in the stern because you could see the welders working, patching them up.
As she was underway.
No, she was tied
just
up to the pier.
Oh, okay, but they were just working right away on it. Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like bees fixing their nest.
Yeah. See, we were all alerted for the second one.
Sure. By then everybody was pretty much ready.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
so it must have felt a little better.
Well, we were able to do something, you know.
Sure.
And
how long, Raymond, would you say before the second wave came?
Oh, about 20 minutes.
Okay. That's yeah.
So after the second wave left, we got underway and went over to the regular cruiser mooring off Aia and tied up to a buoy. And I was down on the second deck there writing a letter when I heard a big explosion.
Okay.
I said to myself, well, now here they are again.
Wow, yeah.
But it turned out there was a destroyer had dropped a depth charge on a midget sub there. He got in the harbor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But he sure rattled my chain. Yeah.
So you guys had heard the concussion under the water.
Yeah.
And wow. And it must have been bigger than normal too.
Yeah.
Now, do you know about what time that was?
That was about maybe 1 o'clock.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that would have been a surprise. So you guys were thinking maybe a third wave.
What the Japs had did that really messed them up is they didn't bomb the fuel tanks at Hickam Field, at the naval base there and sub base.
Right.
The only thing that happened to the submarine base is they strafed it a little bit, but didn't. And later on, the submarines are going to take their toll on their shipping.
I see.
But if they'd have got the tank farms...
Well, we wouldn't have been able to have a resupply in mid-Pacific.
Well, yeah, it would have taken, months with a fleet of oilers to take oil out there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that
should
have been their
handicapped.
Yeah, that should have been their real objective.
And we wouldn't have been able to do the things that we did afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And not only that, but I mean, it changed strategy for the United States forever, because now whenever we go to war, we don't make that mistake, and we take out their oil. Every time we go to war now, we've learned that lesson well.
Yeah.
Their
infrastructure, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the first thing we take out now because of that lesson in particular.
I might add, at that time, I was second-class petty officer.
Okay. And so in charge of a pretty good little crew then for what you were doing. You were in charge of a good little crew of people then.
Well, I had one man working with me.
I see.
Because I was working for the first class.
Yeah. So, with the depth charge at 1 or so p.m. On December 7th, was that the end of rattling your chain that day, or was there more to come after you guys moored up?
No, that was it.
That was the end of it for you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, did you happen to see the flight of B-17s that were coming in that day?
No. They flew right into the hornet's nest.
Yeah, right into Hickam Field.
Yeah. Well, some of them tried to land on other fields there.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just seen some of the old pictures of two of them on Hickam.
There was a couple landed there at Hickam, and then one at Wheeler.
Oh, okay. That's where I would have picked, just looking at the map.
Yeah.